Dun, 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 dun. Light of the Bhagavat, Transcendental Lessons from Nature, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder-Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So there's Krishna with everything coming from him, like with the planets, material world. There we go. Okay. Vrindavan. Light of the Bhagavat was composed by Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, India. In 1961, in response to an invitation to a congress on the cultivation of the human spirit, to be held sometime later in Japan. So we can organize the same thing here. First Australian Congress on cultivation of the human spirit. 22nd Australian Congress. And we can have light of the Bhagavat, light of the Quran, light of the Aborigine people. And so many people just the same way can participate and have a good chance to wake everybody up to talk about things. Okay? He considered that lessons from nature, from the classic Srimad Bhagavatam, would appeal to the enlightened participants. So he selected one chapter, which is actually chapter 20, Description of Autumn, in the Christian book, Description of Autumn. And illustrations were painted for the translation and purports. Okay. The 48 texts talk about 3 seasons. The dry summer season, rainy monsoon season, and pleasant autumn. Like that. Yeah. So everybody's scorched with thirst, and the rains come, and then it clears up, and it's the beautiful autumn season. So 6 verses talk about, no, there's 3 verses talk about in the summer. Then it goes into monsoon season from number 4 through 21. But most of the book, half the book, more than half, is all about description of autumn. And so Sukadeva Goswami is giving lessons from nature, and how we're going to understand things. So let me see. This art, this style, is Gombi. And the artist that Tamal Krishna Maharaj finally got after Prabhupada left was Madame Li Sham, who was very respected, an artist in this very classical style. It is very much Taoist. The Taoists were there in China before the Buddhists, and their idea was that nature is very complete, totally harmonious. Even though the sky is very big, it has never lost track of a single raindrop. Okay. And so we're like the raindrops. We're little aspects. We fit in with our grass raincoat and our high-tech transportation systems. But we're a part of the whole thing. So it's not a bad message, a bad philosophy. And later the Buddhists maybe expanded it, And now we're engaged in this to glorify the Bhagavata. Okay, 48 texts. From light of the Bhagavat we can take many lessons. The nature of society, the cosmos, hankerings of the soul, greed and wisdom, religion. Yeah. And we have an index we made up. Let us just pick 3 texts now. Then later you can choose for yourself when you buy the book. So we're going to take text 9, text 16, and text 23. Okay. A picturesque scene of green paddy fields, there they are, enlivens the heart of the poor agriculturalist, but it brings gloom to the face of the capitalist who lives by exploiting the poor farmers. So is this new? Yeah, this is 5,000 years ago. So we see the same things need to be dealt with. In 16 then, we go from social conflict, social revolution, to who we are beyond a peaceful society. At night, by the grace of the moonlight, there's a moon up there. At night, by the grace of the moonlight, the clouds in the sky can be seen moving. Yet the moon itself also appears to be moving, just as a living being appears to be moving because of false identification with matter. Okay, we can live together peacefully. Then we can inquire into philosophical topics. And finally we can understand what is the philosophical world. The cows that follow the Lord within the forest move slowly because of their heavy milk-laden udders. But when the Lord called them by their specific names, they at once became alert. And as they hastened toward him, their milk bags overflowed and poured milk on the ground because of affection for the Lord. Ah, ISKCON Melbourne Key. Okay. Now all these things are just from Prabhupada's purports, you know. We have the original art. These are about 20 to 30 megabytes. And here we have low resolution, but if you blow them up at high resolution, you can see so many details. You can see the facial expressions, and you see there's a story. You know, what are these guys telling the rich man? What are they telling him?
Don't worry, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, don't fire us. yeah. These fools, haha. You know, next year. You see, he has good curtains, and good furniture. And, you know, she really was able to catch, you know, the Oriental view like that. A picturesque scene of green paddy fields enlivens the heart of the poor agriculturalist, but it brings gloom to the face of the capitalist who lives by. Yeah. He gives them big loans. He gives them big loans when the crops aren't so good with high interest, and you have to take them like that. You know. So, in the purport, Prabhupada talks about Varna Ashram Dharma. And of course, this is one of the most illuminating things that our Srimad Bhagavatam has to offer. Most of the Srimad Bhagavatam is Daidi Varna Ashram Dharma. Rupa Goswami extracts the pure Bhakti Yoga and produces Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion. But if you don't want to go on the accelerated path, okay, then learn how to use your married life, your family life, everything else as a progressive tool in spiritual life. And this is not like a Hindu thing, a Hindu way of organizing society. Do you have the law of gravity here in Australia? Occasionally. Got a very rebellious crew here, right? Yeah. So the law of gravity is everywhere. And also we find the laws of society, psychosocial laws, are the same everywhere. Everywhere you're going to find different kinds of people. Everywhere. You get brahmanas, who are intellectual, priestly class of people. Kshatriyas, who are administrators, kings, run the government. Vaishyas, who are merchants. And finally, Rudras, artisans, laborers. It doesn't matter what you do. Here we have, for example, St. Francis is a very good example of a brahmana, very pure, priestly person. Another good example of a brahmana is Albert Einstein. Okay, intellectual. Now, in the Bhagavat perspective, this is the same person. The better you are, the more you know about nature, and the more you know about nature, the more ethical and moral you become. Einstein said, "Science can tell us how things are, but it can't tell us how they should be." Right? Einstein, Oppenheimer, who else we got? Teller. They all invented the atomic bomb. Okay, if I pulled out of my pocket one stick of dynamite and lit it right now, what would happen? Everybody would leave the room, right? Voluntarily or involuntarily. This is, I don't know, maybe this is something like, maybe like 30 grams of TNT. Trinitotoluene. Maybe 30 grams of TNT in a stick of clay. That's what dynamite is. Okay. Now, how big was the first atomic bomb? How much TNT? Something about 40,000 American tons of TNT. And now we're talking 20 million tons of TNT. So science can give you fantastic things. But here's the airplane, the Enola Gay, very famous airplane. It's going across the Pacific Ocean. Hundreds and hundreds of miles over open water, and science can navigate it right to one little peaceful town called Nagasaki, Hiroshima. I'm sure whoever got the first welcome greeting. So it's there. Okay, now we're within 20 miles of the target, and the captain transfers control of the airplane to the bombardier. You know, bomb bay doors open, bomb bay doors open. Yeah. Arming instrument, the instrument is armed. You know, 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do what? I'm not going to push the button. Why not? It's wrong. What do you mean it's wrong? Yeah. So science can tell us how to do things, but it can't tell us whether we should do it or not. There was actually a big debate. Some people wanted to drop the atomic bombs off the coast in the ocean and to show the Japanese, this is what we have. You know, stop it. You know, stop this war. We can annihilate you. But the military said, we know these people. They don't care if they die or not. You know, and if you give them a chance, they're going to adjust their psychology, and we're going to have to fight them to the death. So better you hit them hard, show them what we have, and then there's a chance they'll surrender. So on one side is political science, other side is physics. You know? So before, and in the light of the Bhagavat, one of the things we can offer, and Nobel laureates love this, is we can connect these two things again. And so how people who develop very good saintly qualities, spiritual qualities, also become the people who have all these powers. Like that. Okay, light of the Bhagavat, keep going. And here we have the Kshatriyas, Napoleon, and Mao Zedong. Was he a Kshatriya? What was his title? Yeah, chairman or citizen. Sometimes citizen Mao. Yeah, but he was living like a Chinese emperor. You know, all this kind of stuff. He did everything else, so it's unavoidable. You can try and establish communism. We're all equal brothers, but we're not. You know, everywhere. So admit it. And admit that you're going to have some people who are aristocratic, who have a different way of living, different responsibilities, and train them properly. And here's the Vaishyas. Henry Ford, Edmund de Rothschild. Yeah. And you know, how much money does Bill Gates have? Yeah, I think it's $10,000 million. Yeah, 10,000. It's way beyond rich. The word rich doesn't apply anymore when you get that much. You know. But these are the higher class Vaishyas. There's two kinds of Vaishyas, right? Some take second initiation, and some don't. But the higher class Vaishyas are like Kshatriyas. They manage lives of so many people, big economic responsibilities, like that. But again, they have, you know, yeah. So then, along finally we get the more simple Vaishyas who have their own bakery, they work with their family, you know, they make some money. And of course, then artisans, you know, like that. And idea is that out of 1,000 people, 900 will be Shudras. Okay, yeah. I mean, I like making my own PowerPoint shows. Some of them are Shudra. Okay. And back to our hero here. This is often Prabhupada's purport. You don't have to invent all that stuff. So Bhagavad Gita probably gives very, very nice explanation of what are the Vaishyas, what are their duties. Agriculture, animal husbandry, and general traders, like that. Yeah. And the first two are the necessities, and the third one is an option when there's an excess. Like that. Agriculture is the noblest profession. Okay. It makes society happy, wealthy, healthy, honest, and spiritually advanced for a better life after death. So the ecology people love this. In South America, where there's a lot of communism and Marxist things and violent revolutions, this goes over real well. The university students like it. And it's a fact. We're not flattering anybody. Agriculture is the noblest profession. Everybody experiences that when you have a garden. You have your house, you have a little garden. It makes such a change in the whole consciousness, no? Lord Sri Krishna himself, right? What did he come as? He came as a Vaishya. Okay. His father's name was Maharaj. So by his own personal example, Balaram is the agriculture guy, and Krishna is taking care of the cows. And Nanda Maharaj had how many cows? Just see all this Hindu mythology. But this isn't the end of the age. This isn't the purport. Prabhupada tosses it right in. Now, Prabhupada knew what his audience was. This book is designed for a very specific audience. So he knew these kind of things wouldn't be too shocking to a Chinese and Japanese audience. Like that. And to us, it may require a little more explanation. But it's quite practical. We're going to give a whole lecture tomorrow at the university on this topic. Because our idea is the world's going through cycles. Your heart's going through cycles. Your stomach is going through cycles. The days are going through cycles, the years. So the whole universe is going through these cycles. Like summer, spring, summer, fall, winter. So right now we're in the winter. And everything is small, shrunken, reduced. We're kind of like cockroaches. You know? But when Krishna was here, it was the age of silver, bronze, gold. Which age? The age of bronze. Yeah. And people were living to be 1,000 years. In the Bible, there's the same descriptions. Methuselah, all these people. Other literature around the world, there's the same description. And then everything was finer, everything was bigger, everything was more accommodating. You know? Words had power. And so Krishna was there 5,000 years ago, and so much opulence, but what was the opulence? The opulence was cows, agriculture, land, grains. God's gifted professions for mankind are agriculture and cow protection. There we go. Okay, back up there. Go on, Jiki. Cheese ki. And when there's an excess, not to try and artificially create demands. No, that's because there's no cultivation of the human spirit. And people become greedy, right? Only when there's an excess, and Prabhupada said that from the very beginning. Our farms are aimed at what? What's the aims of our farms? Self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency. And he said, well, if you do that, there'll be an excess, and okay, then you can, find out where people need that. And that's the job of some vices. Buy low, sell high. Yeah. But because people there's no cultivation of the human spirit, they become greedy and materialistic, and large-scale commerce and industry, which are not natural. And lure the poor agriculturalists to the cities, where there are unsanitary industrial towns, false hopes of earning more money. Yeah. Real fact. Humanity must depend on agriculture. Big iron factories cannot produce rice and wheat. Yeah. So even in Australia, if we have proper sacrifice, yajna, settle atmosphere, you'll see the atmosphere will change. Rains will come, everything will become nicer, the whole place will change like that. By the mercy of Lord Ramachandra, who is now incarnated as Vidai Gauranga, yeah, and their sacrifice of Sankirtan Yajna, the whole world can become like Satya Yuga. Like that. And Prabhupada said, don't think this won't happen. If we go on, the creation of Sankirtan all over the world, then it will become like Satya Yuga. Okay. So by following the line of the Bhagavat, we can all live in peace, harmony with the animals, everybody else. And is that enough? Human beings will be happy with enough to eat, place to sleep, nice social life. What do you think? No. And an idle mind is devil's workshop. So they'll be, bears. The bear goes in his cage at night. Now you've started a new program to keep the bears happy, and it's working. When the bear comes out of his little house at night, in the morning, they've hidden food all over the place in his cage, in his compound. They put it up in trees, they put it under rocks, And so the bear then starts looking. Oh, there was food here yesterday, not here today. Oh, there's some, whatever it is bears eat up in that tree there. How do I get up there? He's going to climb the tree, or he's going to push a rock over to climb the tree. So the bear spends all day, looking for food. And that's okay, right? Bear is satisfied. It was a good life, good day. I got enough to eat. Got to scratch my back for a while on the trees like that. If you ever look on the internet for bears scratching their backs, you'll find incredible movies. Bears just really get into it. It's incredible. And once a year, a little romance. Okay. And bears are satisfied. And that's it. They're okay. But human beings are blessed or cursed with higher intelligence. And so because of this, they have to ask these questions about what is life, what is death, what are these things happening? Why do I like finer things like architecture, music, poetry? So then we begin the next level, and the Bhagavat can help us to understand who we are. Yeah? Here's the moon, very bright. And we can see the clouds appear to move. The moon appears to move. The moon appears to move. But this is because of false identification with matter. The spirit soul, or the living entity, is the root of all the activities of the material body. Huh? The spirit soul, or living being, is the root of all the activities of the material body. There it is. Right? All the different fruits are coming. Yeah? But we don't even see this. Uh-oh, there we go. Okay. The soul is hidden. It's hidden. We see all these fruits in the trees and everything else. But philosophical life means to look at the noumena behind the phenomena. Whether you're following Socrates, Confucius, Jehovah. Because of illusion, the spirit soul remains covered by gross and subtle bodies. Thus covered, the conditioned soul identifies with the material body and becomes subjected to the sense of false ego. This false ego obliges a living being to consider his material body to be his self. Okay. The offspring of the body to be his children. In the land of the body, and the land of man, in the land of the birth of his body, a land of the birth of his body to be an object of worship. There we go. Thus the living being's conception of nationalism is but another type of ignorance. So we're making this thing, we look up the local flag and put it on the bottom and have it go across, and everybody kind of cheers. Okay, Mera Bharat Mahan Hai. My Australia, right or wrong. And so this is the whole thing. For us as devotees, we know this, but we don't really know it. If you tell somebody who's like some 21-year-old brahmachari, 18-year-old brahmachari, you're not the body, he says, yes, Prabhu, But if you tell some devotee who's like 65 years old, you're not the body, Prabhu, he says, yes, yes. I've already lost 2 teeth, my memory's going, yes. Yeah, my digestion is not what it used to be. Yeah, so we have to know this, more and more. We have to penetrate this very thoroughly. And this is the basis. Without this conception, the understanding that the activities of the soul have no meaning. It becomes Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. But we actually understand, not understand, but we can live as spirit soul. You may have a frozen sponge. I am a frozen green sponge. Well, watch it, buddy. I'm a frozen red sponge, and you're circular, and I'm square. So this is my country. No, it's my country. So, but if you apply a little bit of warmth, then the sponge becomes soft, right? And you can change the shape and apply some compression, and the water comes out. You apply some heat, and the water becomes steam and flies away. So we have ethics and morality that kind of soften us up. We have philosophical investigation, Socrates, to get out of the body. And then we have the process of bhakti yoga to convert the soul into, to return it to its natural state, spiritual flight. So this is our second point in light of the Bhagavad. We can live together peacefully in harmony and with everybody, the environment. And then we have time and our natural motivation to understand philosophical life. And then the question is, Chaitanya Charitamrita. What does that mean? Translation. Anybody know? What's the translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita?
The nectar of the life of the soul.
Yeah. Prabhupada says, the character of the living force in the immortal atmosphere. Do we all become one with everything? And what happens? Do we all go to heaven with Jehovah and sit on clouds and play harps? Yeah. Okay, let's find out. In fact, however, a living being does not belong to any nation or species of life. He has nothing to do with the body, as the moon has nothing to do with the moving clouds. Complete knowledge fixes the living being in the orbit of spiritual activities. Okay. I haven't seen this for a long time. It's okay. Okay. I did this. I've forgotten how it works. Okay. Ooh. Goodbye, material body. Now we're one with it all. Aha, okay. So this is actually what happens in the spiritual world. The cows are there with Krishna, and Krishna plays his flute, he calls their names, and they all come running, Shamali. Yeah. And we can see their milk-laden udders are spreading milk everywhere. Like that. And Prabhupada's purport. Okay. And Prabhupada quotes him from the Brahma Samhita, which gives a very vivid description of the Lord's abode. The houses are made of touchstone, the trees are desire trees. The Lord tends many thousands of Kamudenu cows. Krishna has to work, right? How nice. There's work in the spiritual world. Every day he goes with his friends, takes care of the cows. Every cowherd boy has thousands of calves, and he's attentive to all of them. Like that. So each of us needs thousands of disciples. Everybody here, no excuses. You must have 1,000 disciples and take care of all of them. Yeah. And Krishna will help you. But is it hard work? No, there's a lot of time to play and sing and dance and experiment. So every day with Krishna in the forest is play. And if you have to go to work and make money, it can be the same way. Your business. We have one member in San Jose, Silicon Valley, Rakshit Jariwala, and he was working for chemical companies. He actually worked with Nobel laureates sometimes. So all this hard work. Then he became a devotee. He met ISKCON devotees. And he started, just gradually changing his life because of the light of the Bhagavat. And eventually he started working for a German pharmaceutical company, which only uses natural sources for all their pharmaceuticals. And they give a lot of free vitamins and everything else to third world countries and do a lot of very good work. He said the whole atmosphere of work is much more cheerful and optimistic and friendly and everything else like that. So we can find out that, this is real life, and that Krishna comes to this world to show us how it is, right? In contrast, the spiritual world, the houses, the trees, the cows, are all qualitatively non-different from the Lord. Everything's a person in the spiritual world. Krishna's garland, and garland is a person. The Lord alone is the supreme enjoyer, okay, and beneficiary. All others are enjoyed by the Lord. It's a very different thing. Material world. Paraphernalia for our pleasures in life. There is paraphernalia for pleasures in life, but all destructible at the end. So it's like a light and shadow. This material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everybody just wants to see Krishna happy. When Krishna smiles, and because the puris are puffing up, baby Krishna, everybody claps their hands and is so happy to see how Krishna is enjoying himself. He's our soul. In the material world, we're all looking to become the enjoyers. Every man in material consciousness is thinking, I will conquer the world. I will become richer than Bill Gates, more powerful than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And in material life, every woman is thinking, that's okay. Let him conquer the world. I will conquer him. But every child is thinking, that's okay. I will conquer mommy and daddy. They will do what I say. So this is material life. Everybody is pulling in their own direction, and they don't care what it costs in the end, how much suffering other people have to suffer. But on the other hand, the spiritual world is the exact opposite. Everybody's pushing each other, right, towards Krishna. And Krishna then redistributes this to everybody. So this is what we see the difference, how life is. And everything is there. Houses, trees, cows, But it's all eternal, it's all personal, it's all ever expanding. Krishna himself does not know, how wonderful he is. We don't know we don't know the limits of what kind of service we can offer as individuals. When he descends at Vrindavan, it is with his personal staff of cows, cowherd boys, and cowherd maidens. Hearing the Lord calling, these cows were overwhelmed with joyous affection, just as a mother's breast overflows with milk when the child cries for it. So how many girls would like a baby like this? Yeah? So nice. And there's no restriction, right? There's no restriction. As a grihasta, you can't pray for Krishna to be your child. Oh, Mother Yashoda had a lot of problems having Krishna for a baby. She suffered so much. Yeah. Okay. All of us living beings are differentiated expansions of the Lord. But our affection for the Lord is artificially covered by the material quality of ignorance. Spiritual culture is meant to revive this natural affection for the Lord. And here we are, Here we're supposed to be enjoying the rays of the sun, and reflecting it back, growing, but we're covered. Some rainbows sometimes, covered. So how do we get out of this problem? Okay. Receive the messages of the Lord with a purified heart. That means follow the 4 principles. If you follow the 4 principles, you get good at that, then the messages penetrate. Your 16 rounds penetrates. And then we'll begin to understand the philosophical thing. We'll know things in a true perspective. We're different than the body. And then, Doshrada, Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Nartanaviti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asaktis. Then the flow of one's natural affection begins to glide toward the Lord. This flow becomes more and more self-realized in various relations with the Lord. Somebody's in relations a cow, somebody's cow or boy, musicians, and it becomes more and more expansive like that. Okay. So we do this a lot in South America. Here's the slideshow. The cultivation of the spirit human, a ambient human Pacific, peaceful liberation of the soul from matter, the character of the soul, and the atmosphere immortal. So these are the 3 things that we've taken tonight from the light of the Bhagavat. There's these 3 things. There's 48 slides in this one little book. That, we can live together in peace with other living beings, and our family members, and animals, society, nature. And once we do that, we can actually make these deep philosophical inquiries, metaphysical inquiries that Socrates, Confucius, everybody recommends. And then finally, after we do that, we'll actually begin to discover, what is the eternal nature of the soul. And then we can begin to cultivate these qualities, like, Santa Rosa of Lima, another one, Saint Teresa of Avila. Who else we got? So many saints all over the world. They have a system of sadhana for cultivating these higher states of bhava, of emotion like that. I think that's all. See. Okay. Please spread the beautiful light of the Bhagavat. Visit the forum, which is kind of working, maybe not. I don't know. This is our email address. www.jairam.us. And then the idea is we've done all this. You can actually do it here. You blow up the paintings, and the ones you had on display at the gallery, you bring them to the gala event at the end, and you auction them off right there, right? And people go home very happy with their own 2-meter copy of these pictures. And you make a lot of money from that to cover all your expenses and expand the preaching. And then have courses and have reading groups. People buy the books, but okay, now, hey, come on, we're going to have a reading group on this. Come every Saturday in the afternoon, and we can discuss what we're reading, like that. And then after that, okay, well, what's the next book? I read The Light of the Bhagavat, it was really nice. So what we recommend next then is your ever well-wisher, right? The book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. So you read Light of the Bhagavat, you read Prabhupada's. How many people have read Prabhupada's biography? One volume of it. How many people cried when they read it? Okay, don't be shy. Yeah. You know what is ISKCON. You don't expect ISKCON to be perfect, right? After you read Light of the Bhagavat, you realize this is a very human endeavor, that people have real problems, and it's not wasn't created by falling from the sky, and it's not going to go on without personal sacrifice. So wonderful book for new people to read. So Light of the Bhagavat, your ever well-wisher. And finally, we recommend Upadeshamrita, which Prabhupada translated as Nectar of Instruction. And it's a summary of our whole philosophy. Everything is there, from the most simple things all the way up to the most esoteric, very practical applications of how we do our yoga, by associating with devotees. And the purports will take you to everything. The purports are based upon all of our philosophy, all of our culture. You have a whole symposium based on Light of the Nectar of Instruction. But it's a great introductory book with a little bit of guidance. So those three books. line of the Bhagavat, ever well-wisher, and nectar instruction. And the people associated with devotees take prasadam, read those 3 books. You know, you're going to be, either you're going to become a ISKCON devotee, or else you're going to be a very good friend. You're going to stick with your religion, your culture, but be very, very close, with devotees and working practically together. Because we're not trying to make everybody Hare Krishna devotees, ISKCON devotees. We cultivate the human spirit to the level of cooperation, of making a better world, for human peace and prosperity. And there's so many ideas like that, and so on. This is our presentation. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki. Back home. Back to God.